Hear ye, hear ye. We are finally here with the Citadels character guides for the rank 4 characters. Behold, I bring to thee the nobles that exist inside of Citadels. Every single character that is a rank 4 inside of Citadels is tied directly to the noble districts that exist inside of Citadels, as well as also tied to the crown and who all gets it and who gets to be able to take advantage of being the crown player. Because being able to be the crown player to kind of shuffle all of the cards and to be able to deal them out and to be able to get that first pick to set yourself up for whatever plans that you have oftentimes is very important. So let's go ahead and get into these noble characters. I bring to you Your Majesty, the King. So the King is a classic character. He's been around since the first iteration of Citadels, and his abilities are just pretty straightforward. Whenever the King is called and you reveal his card, you get to immediately take the crown and become the crown player. You run the roll call, you run the draft, pretty much everything of that nature is up to you. But the second thing is probably the most important part when it comes to the King, is that he gets to take 1 gold for every noble district that he has built inside of his city. So if you get a lot of noble districts, obviously you can get a lot of gold. The key thing with the King, especially in interactions with the other characters, is that even though if the King gets killed by the assassin, he still skips his turn just like every other character. But the important thing is that if he flips his card at the end of the round, he still gets the crown. He's still going to become the crown player going into the next round. Because essentially what happened is that even though the King died and was murdered by the assassin, the King's heir showed up and essentially took over the kingdom. So that's pretty much all that it is. So if you die as the King, no worries, you skip your turn, but you're still going to get the crown at the end. It's the same thing if you're bewitched. Even though the witch will essentially use your powers in order to get gold for every noble district that the witch character built, the King, the person who is the King, is still going to take the crown. So that's something else to keep in mind. If you're ever playing in a setup to where there's going to be any discarded cards face up, all of the rank 4 characters, including the King, cannot be discarded face up. That just cannot happen. He could be discarded face down, which is possible. Somebody might be holding the crown for a while, but the King is too important for that. If you are tired of playing as the King, because the King just seems too boring to you and you want to try something different, I bring to thee the Patrician. So, the Patrician is a little bit different from the King as far as the benefits that he gains. Obviously, if you reveal the Patrician, you take the crown. You get the crown, you get all the glory, and control the rest of the roll call for as long as you are in power. But the interesting thing about the Patrician is that the Patrician's ability is that he gets 1 card for each noble district that he has. So he can stack up on cards and not so much on gold. So that is a weakness area that you definitely have to keep in mind in comparison to the King. So you're going to be struggling on funds unless you get the right characters to get you those funds beforehand. Like the King, if you are killed, you skip your turn just like any other character, and at the end of the round, you still reveal your card and you take up the crown. So that way you are essentially the Patrician's heir, and you become the crown player in the next round. You still also take the crown if you get bewitched by the witch. And just like the King, and pretty much this applies for any of the other remaining rank 4 characters, is that if your discards at the beginning of each round involve a face-up card, the Patrician can't be discarded face-up. Now I bring to you the last character that exists inside of Citadels and is the last remaining noble in Citadels. And I bring to you the Emperor. So, when the Emperor gets revealed, he doesn't take the crown. which is very interesting for his character. Instead, he gives the crown to a different player and takes either one of his gold or one of his cards. So it's essentially handing off the responsibility and kind of just being paid in order to become the crown player. So it's very interesting. If the player that you give it to doesn't have any gold in his stash nor cards in his hand, then you don't take anything from him. Uh-oh, that's unfortunate. He pretty much follows the exact same rules as the other noble characters. If he gets killed, he still skips his turn just like everybody else, but he'll get his crown at the end of the round. If he gets bewitched, then he will still have the crown at the end of the round, as the Emperor's advisor will take the crown and give it to somebody else. So he's basically playing hot potato to get cards or gold in that instance. He also follows the same selection phase rule as the other characters in the fact that he can't be discarded face up, but he can be discarded face down. But otherwise, that is all of the other bits of important information. One thing that I almost forgot to mention is that the Emperor cannot be used in a 2-player game. He has to be in at least a bare minimum of a 3-player game or more. And yeah, that's all the information that I have for the royalty that exists inside of Citadels. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video.